Let's jump right in. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're breaking down a literally blood-curdling supernatural tale that comes straight out of the dark, super isolated pine forests of New Zealand. I'm your host, and today we are decoding a story that's absolutely going to make you think twice before brushing the dust off some old, forgotten antique.
So let's dive into this dark mystery, which really kicks off with one simple but terrifying question. Can a book be truly evil? And I don't just mean containing frightening ideas, right? I mean, can it physically harbor a malicious, ancient entity? Keep that in the back of your mind as we walk through this whole sequence of events.
Okay, let's look at how this builds. It starts with a grandfather's mysterious disappearance and his granddaughter arriving to sort out his secluded lakeside house. On day 1, a postman finds Richard's wooden house just totally empty. Fast forward to day 5, and the police officially declare Richard missing after searching all the surrounding woods and the lake. By day 10, he's legally declared dead, and that brings his 25-year-old granddaughter, Mia, all the way out from Los Angeles. Her goal on day 11 is pretty straightforward. Clean out the house, sort the documents, and get the property ready to sell. She clears out the whole place, leaving just the garage for last.
But hidden behind the very last shelf in that garage, wedged right up against the wall, Mia uncovers something sinister. I mean, just picture the sheer grotesque detail of this cover. It's wrapped in a black cloth, but beneath that, the binding isn't normal paper or cardboard. It's actually stitched together from these strange, mismatched pieces of leather. And right in the center is this bizarre circular symbol, tangled roots twisted tightly together to form a horrifying, staring face.
And when she opens it, the contents are just as disturbing. The text isn't printed with standard ink. It's written in this deep, dark red. Surrounding the lines are these bizarre drawings, trees growing completely upside down, fog-covered monsters with elongated, terrifying fangs, and strange eye symbols that literally appear to stare right back at the reader from within the paper. Naturally, as her eyes scan the page, she accidentally reads those dark red words aloud, and well, that brings these gruesome illustrations to life. The instant the final word leaves her lips, this terrifying chain reaction takes hold. First, her fingers begin to burn intensely. Second, the sky outside just instantly turns pitch black, whipped up by fierce winds. Third, wild, violent waves start crashing on the normally calm lake nearby. Fourth, massive swarms of black crows descend and start circling the farmhouse. And finally, these thin, black, root-like lines start spreading rapidly right under the skin of her hand. Now let me ask you, does this nightmare feel strangely familiar? You know, the isolated cabin, the ancient text, the accidental reading that unleashes total chaos? It really makes you wonder, can reading a book actually awaken a demon?
Which brings us to a terrifying parallel within our source material today. It perfectly connects Mia's story to the new movie, Evil Dead Burn. In it, a character named Alice arrives at her fiancé's family farmhouse, discovers a terrifying book of the dead, reads the cursed words aloud, and awakens an ancient demonic entity. Just like Mia's grandfather's house, Alice's farmhouse transforms into a literal living hell. The thematic overlaps are incredibly striking.
So if you're into brain-bending supernatural horror and non-stop terrifying experiences, which, let's be honest, is exactly what we're breaking down today, you can witness this terror for yourself when it hits theaters on July 10th. It's honestly a perfect visual companion to the dread we're exploring right now.
All right, moving into part 1, The Nightmare Returns, Surviving the Night.
So Mia had locked the book in the garage and retreated upstairs. She's exhausted, just hoping it was all some crazy trick of the mind. But then, the unnatural calm is broken. A sudden, desperate scream from the drawing room downstairs completely shatters the silence. It sounds like a man crying out for help. Mia's terrified, obviously, but driven by pure adrenaline, she slowly creeps down the stairs toward an impossible and horrifying sight. When she reaches the drawing room, she just freezes. Her missing, legally dead grandfather, Richard, is suddenly sitting right there at the dining table, and he looks like he literally just crawled out of a grave. He appears extremely frail, his clothes are completely caked in wet mud, and he has these deep, dark circles surrounding his hollow eyes. But the worst part? Sitting right in front of him on the table is the very same cursed book Mia had just locked in the garage.
Mia frantically tries to calm him down, getting him some water. Richard is in full panic mode, staring at every corner, the windows, the ceiling. When he finally catches his breath, he drops this horrific truth on her. This book holds a very evil and fierce ancient entity. He explains that he actually found the book years ago, hidden behind a shelf, and when he read it, the house came alive with the voices and faces of his loved ones. The terror drove him to flee and hide out in the old lake cabins. But when he saw the block sky and the crows earlier that day, he knew someone had read it again. He knew the curse had restarted.
And the horror just escalates from there. Mia looks out the kitchen window, following Richard's terrified gaze. On the inside, there's the real Mia, terrified and just trying to survive. But standing out in the pitch-black woods, staring back in, is a girl with a completely burned face. And to Mia's absolute horror, she realizes the burned girl is actually her. It's this chilling supernatural premonition of her own fate.
But the shock of that vision is instantly eclipsed by what's happening at the table. Right before her eyes, the ancient entity takes over Richard's body completely. And the transformation is absolutely brutal. His neck veins bulge and turn pitch black, his eyes roll back until they're entirely white. He is just consumed by pure demonic rage. And to prove whatever is inside him isn't human anymore, dripping melted wax from a nearby candle falls right onto his hands. And he feels absolutely zero pain. He just picks up the heavy candle stand and advances toward Mia. At this point, the house itself becomes possessed, perfectly mirroring escalating demonic energy inside Richard. First, that heavy leather book opens entirely by itself on the table. Second, the pages start turning rapidly, even though there isn't a single breeze in the room. Third, those same circular root symbols from the cover begin literally burning themselves onto the wooden walls all around them. And finally, the dead, cold ashes in the fireplace spontaneously ignite into a roaring flame. The environment itself is now a weapon against her. Mia fights back, desperately pushing Richard away to dodge the swinging metal stand. He crashes into the wall, but the dropped candle stand lands directly on the curtains. Within seconds, the dry wood of the old farmhouse acts like tinder. The entire living room turns into a raging inferno, engulfing Richard and ultimately trapping Mia. Those very flames she saw in her terrifying vision at the window, they become her horrific reality. When the fire brigade and police finally arrive to find the charred remains, the devastating aftermath leaves us with a seriously chilling revelation. The wooden farmhouse, destroyed. Richard, destroyed. Mia, tragically destroyed. But sitting right there on the burned remnants of the dining table, the Book of the Dead survived, completely untouched by the roaring flames, just perfect and totally intact. So, the most terrifying thought to leave you with today is this: who is going to find the book next? If it can survive an absolute inferno completely unscathed, it's simply out there waiting for the next unsuspecting person to open its pages and read those dark red words aloud. It's a haunting conclusion to our explainer today and a perfect reminder to catch the remarkably similar supernatural terror of Evil Dead Burn in theaters on July 10th. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, guys. Stay curious and, maybe think twice before opening any mysterious old books you find hidden in the dark.